Spinning. And we're live. Woohoo! Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. My name is Leanne Kalal, and I am a member of the numerologist.com team. And this is the second time I'm going live this week with Kelli Fox. So hello to everyone who's joining us, and just leave a comment. Let us know where you are, where you're tuning in from in the world. And Kelli, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Leanne. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, and so I'm so excited because, well, first of all, we're moving into Libra season. And so if you're tuning in and you are not a Libra, continue listening because Kelli is going to share what this Libra energy means for every single sun sign. So make sure you stay tuned. But before we dive into that, hi, Marissa from Orland Park. There we go. I love seeing where people are from. But before we dive into the Libra season and what this means for all sun signs, Kelli, I'd love to just take a couple minutes and talk to you about the equinox. You and I had a special equinox event on Tuesday, and we talked for like a good hour and a half or more. We can talk maybe close to 2 hours. And it was a really great event. And so are we in the shadow of the equinox now? Any thoughts since we've connected?
Yes, lots and lots of thoughts, Leanne, around that. So the equinox, and hello, everybody. And the equinox, that happened exact on Tuesday, actually at 6:31 a.m. Pacific, 9:31 a.m. Eastern. And so what it is, it's like a portal. It's, astrologers celebrate the equinox, the two equinox that we have per year and the two solstices. So, and I'm saying it in the singular because it sounds weird when you say it in the plural. So, we in the Northern Hemisphere celebrated the autumn or the fall equinox. And then, of course, I just saw somebody from Sydney, Australia, Donna. What time is it there? It's really early.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's like 5 a.m. or something. So, and Donna and everyone else in the Southern Hemisphere is celebrating the spring equinox. And so, this is a time of equality. I know it doesn't feel like that generally, but we have to celebrate, we have to celebrate the equal days and nights. So that's what the equinox is about, because the sun is directly overhead. And so, it shines in equal measures, in both hemispheres. So, normally with the summer solstice, the sun is directly overhead in one hemisphere, say the northern, and that was in June. And then in December in the northern hemisphere, it'll be the winter solstice, where the sun is, the lowest point. And so the reason that we have all that is that the earth is not just a complete circle. It's tilted 23 degrees. And that's why we have the seasons. And that's where we get, equal days and nights, or the longest day on the summer solstice, or the longest night on the winter solstice, and so on. So, so what that means is that this is a time where it's a time of, to be able to step through the portal. I mean, that's what 2020 is all about. It's this giant portal that we've all sort of been shoved into, and, we're trying to make the best we can out of a year that was completely unexpected. I mean, astrologers saw 2020 coming a long time ago, but of course, no one would, in detail say what actually has been happening. But, we did see that, the financial markets would be shaken up, and that the structures would be of humankind would be also shaken up, and our stability and, life as we know it would be different, and we'd have to become very much more humanitarian because of Saturn moving into Aquarius. Now, I'm off here on a tangent, Leanne. You've got me started now. We're supposed to be talking about how all the signs can benefit the most from this energy of Libra, but now I'm on this complete tangent.
It still is relevant. We're still I think, and even for me, just the reminder, it's like, it's a time of balance. It's a time to celebrate the balance. And what goes through my mind is, again, like finding more balance or creating more balance in our individual lives. I'm just remembering back to our conversation and how for me, one of the things that really stood out was like just the cycles, like the world, humanity, nature, there's all of these natural cycles. And so the more we can tune in and be present, it's going to make life, flow a bit easier, hopefully. And I think we all need that more.
And that's the thing with Libra. And hang on, I have to say something. Jody Lynch from Perth, 3 a.m. That really caught my attention. And I don't know if you got up early or if you've just stayed up all night. But hello.
Jody's a night owl, and that Donna is an early bird. And then we also have Jacqueline from Melbourne, if I say it.
Melbourne. You're saying it right. And Mary Lynn is a Kiwi. So hello, everybody. Hello. I just love seeing also, Leanne, where everyone's from.
Isn't it fun? Yeah, we have such an international crew joining us. It's a really fun community.
Oh, and Peter, thank you for being so kind. Says, love a tangent from you. I really appreciate that. Okay, where was I in my tangent? Oh, talking about the portal that we've all sort of been shoved into, and that we have to evolve. And that's really what happens to us when we're born into this lifetime anyway, Leanne. It's like, we're born here with a certain amount of karma, and we all have karma that we have to deal with. And karma means learning the lessons that I'll say it like this, blessed with, in air quotes. So it's like we're born with a certain level of karma. And so it's individual karma and then also collective karma. And karma, Saturn is the planet of karma. So Saturn is very much about, and I'm going to pull it back into the Libra thing, but so Saturn is a planet of karma. We're born with karma, individual, collective, and of course 2020 is a year where we're dealing with collective karma together. And so a lot of issues this year, not just this year, I mean, it's throughout history, but have come to the surface, and it's about equality, and equality for all different people. So, this week with the equinox and with the sun moving into Libra that coincides with the equinox, Libra is about balance and equality and peace and harmony.
Exactly, the scales.
Exactly. And the symbol of Libra is the scales, yes. So it is about finding balance internally and externally. So individually and collectively, we've reached a point now in 2020 with so much that's been going on this year and so many challenges for so many people. It's time. We have to step up here. We have to step up. We're celebrating what we want from equality, because of course there isn't equality really. Let's just be honest here. And that's the thing with Libra. Libra, the energy of Libra doesn't want to hurt people's feelings. Libra is a gorgeous, beautiful energy. It's peace loving. It's about beauty. It's about harmony. It's about equality. And so that's hopefully this season of Libra will teach us that. Now, here's the kicker for this season with Libra. So the sun is going to be obviously in Libra, but also, what's happening here is we're going to be having at the end of October through November, love planet Venus will be in Libra. So that extends the Libra season. So Venus is a planet of love and money, and it rules Taurus and Libra. So Venus is going to be really, really super happy, and that will be end of October, right when the sun, sort of around the time where the sun moves out of Libra, Venus moves into Libra. And of course, Mercury will be in Libra as well. There's going to be a lot of Libra energy for the next couple of months. But the thing is that with Venus in Libra, Venus is very happy with Libra, but Venus is going to start to come up and form some challenging 90-degree square angles to these planets that have created this hard, heavy theme of 2020, and that's namely Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So what all that means is that there's some really nice, flowing, personable energy over the next, not just 4 weeks, but, longer than that, couple of months. But there will be some challenges with this energy, like as much as we all want to get along and, appreciate beauty and all those finer things in life, there will be responsibilities we need to take care of. And that is what is going to be, so these planets of Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto will be reminding us about that. It's like we can't just sail through and fingers crossed and hope for the best, which is really unfortunate. Sometimes, this year aside, sometimes we can do that. But, of course, this is not a year to do that anyway, but this is not a time to do that because of this Libra energy coming up against, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto. And you know what? It's not even a fair fight. It's basically, you'll be swept away if you don't take care of responsibilities. That's really the bottom line of what this energy is about, this Libra energy, trying to battle against a giant tidal wave of other stuff that, it's just not happening. So my best advice is to, I don't want to say these words because it sounds sort of weird, but I was going to say not grin and bear it, because we have to step up. It's not about being passive anymore. It's like we have to, within ourselves, and this is what I talked a lot about on another event I did with the Equinox, and it was like we have to, in a lot of ways, it's about self-acceptance, and once we have self-love, self-acceptance, which is part of, this Libra energy coming up against these hard-hitting planets, then maybe we can embrace everyone else.
And so, Kelli, I have a question for you that's coming to mind. So for everyone listening and for myself, can you describe what are the traits or the qualities of Libra? And I know that you've kind of done that, but I'm really interested to know what are the overall, what's the yeah, I don't know. I'd like to just hear you sort of summarize when this Libra energy moves in, what are those few traits that we can be aware of and really harness?
So the Libra energy is very much about, it's very personable. It's if you think about the symbol, as you said, the scales. So it's finding that balance. And that doesn't mean Libra has balance. It means Libra is looking for balance. Libra wants the balance. Libra seeks to have everything fair and equitable. And so that's why it ties into the equinox, because the equinox is about equality. So it's like Libra wants that, because Libra, and I don't just mean people who are Librans, I just mean the energy of this sign. So it's very much about compromise. It's very much about, and typically signing contracts is very good under a Libran, planets in Libra. So it's like it's win-win for everyone. And that's what Libra is all about. It's definitely a win-win. Now, on the shadow side, because, as we know, the planets and signs have their shadow sides. And so the shadow side of Libra is indecision. And that's because Libra can see all angles of a situation, because it's about fairness and balance. And to be able to be fair, you've got to see both sides of the coin. So that's what happens with Libra, becomes very indecisive. And then Libra can be accused of being wishy-washy because they're indecisive. But you have to understand where that comes from. And once you understand, and this is not just about Libra, this is about all the signs. So if there's an understanding of why Libra might be indecisive, because they're seeing all sides to a story, that's what makes Libra not just the scales, but the scales of justice. So law and judgment fall to the sign of Libra, because Libra is the most fair-minded of the zodiac. So Libra is very much about also the performing arts and beauty and harmony and refinement and good taste and socializing, because Libra is very much about dealing with people one-on-one. So, Libra make very fine counselors or mediators or artists or hostesses and things like that, because Libra really brings us the social graces. So normally in a normal world, it would be about, there'd be a lot of social invitations at this time and connecting with other people and everybody being very gracious and gorgeous. And so, but, right now in our world, everything's a bit different. So it's like connect with others, or get your hair done if you can, if that's okay, or, refine yourself in some ways, whatever that might mean. And I just saw a comment before, somebody was asking about, because Mars being retrograde right now, is it better to postpone cosmetic surgery? And the answer is 100% yes. And I'll cover that in just a second. But I want to just recap that, because I got asked that question recently, like within the past few days, from someone else. So the other thing is, I talked, Leanne, about, like the sun in Libra and how it's coming up to form these hard angles to Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto. It's also forming an opposition. This is the sun in Libra, and then it'll be Venus in Libra and Mercury in Libra, forming very challenging oppositions to the retrograde Mars. So what that means is that normally, it's a great time for relationships, because Libra is the sign of marriage and it's the sign of relationships. It's a sign of business partnerships. So normally, it'd be a great time for relationships and getting married and engaged and whatever else. But of course, with these very tough angles and then the opposition to the Mars retrograde, Mars representing passion. So really, anytime I've ever done compatibility readings, always straight away look at Venus and Mars. Venus is love, Mars is passion. And that's really the foundation of relationship. If you break everything down, that's what really relationships are about, personal relationships. So with this season of Libra, normally it would be a great time for relationships, but because of all this hard energy from the other planets that Venus is making to the other planets, I should say, and with the Mars retrograde, Mars is normally very passionate, extremely passionate when it's in its favorite sign of Aries, but because it's retrograde, things could get a little bit off kilter. So, with Mars, again, the shadow of Mars is anger. So, you want that out of the relationship, and you'd rather use, the positive energy of passion or desire or whatever that might be. So, so this season of Libra is a mixed bag, is basically what I'm trying to say. And then, of course, just to add to this, I'm looking here at a Mercury retrograde that's coming up. So, that just adds to the mix, and that happens like in the middle of the sun in Libra.
No, I started. I'm like, it's time for me to start dating, and so I'll keep you posted. It's good. I'm going to take this information and just be mindful of my communication.
Yes. Okay. There's a lot to say about that, but I think I'll hold my tongue. So
good.
So I want to just go through each of the signs and what each sign can expect with, and how to best utilize this energy of the sun in Libra, and then of course Venus in Libra and Mercury in Libra. So if you're in Aries, normally, or not normally, even now without the Mars retrograde, but it's a focus for you, Aries, on relationships. And so what it means is being able to, work through any issues that you might have in your closest relationships, if single, coupled, whatever it is. And it might be a frustrating exercise because, as I just said, Mars is your ruling planet. Mars is currently retrograde. So there's a level of frustration there anyway, and try not to project that onto your partner. If you're a Taurus, so what's coming up for you at this time is that, you know, Taurus, you're very connected to Libra because you're both ruled by Venus. Venus, you know, the planet of love and money. So there is an affinity there for you during this season of Libra, which really helps things, you know, helps things somewhat. And so when Venus moves into Libra at the end of October, even though there's been other stuff going on with those hard angles that it's been making, there definitely will be sort of more of a flow that's coming about for you. Now, Gemini, for you, during the season of Libra, you know, Libra is a fellow air sign, and the air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And so for you, Libra, for you, Gemini, it's very much about, you know, being able to articulate and communicate, which is what you do so well. You know, you are the communicator of the zodiac, and doing so in a way where it sort of just flows. Now, the kicker here is that Mercury retrograde, and Mercury is your ruling planet, Gemini. So anytime Mercury turns retrograde, you're definitely affected by that. So mid-October, your ruling planet will turn retrograde. And so that might make the season of Libra a little bit more challenging for you, Gemini. So it's important that you really feel that whoever you're communicating with, that you're really understanding and articulating the message. Now, Cancer the crab, what's coming up for you is a little bit challenging this season because, you know, Libra, the season of Libra is not very compatible. You're both cardinal signs, which means you're both initiators and you like to get things going, and you're the leaders of the zodiac, or one of the leaders of the zodiac. But so with this season, not only is Libra season a little bit more challenging for you, but with these harder angles, you know, from the Mars to the Mars retrograde, and then the Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So it is a little bit challenging for Cancer at this time. But what's going to be really important is to use that Mercury retrograde. And it's like, I know that sounds like a dichotomy, because Mercury retrograde, it's always like we throw our hands up and we say, oh no, you know, no one's going to understand what I'm saying and I'm going to have to redo stuff. But for you, Cancer, if you tune into your perceptive abilities, your psychic abilities, you are a water sign. Mercury does turn retrograde in a fellow water sign. So it's not as challenging as what it could be for you. So in other words, use your skills of communication. You know, you're a feeling sign, but now is the time to use your words instead. Leo, for you during this time. So, you know, right now we've got love planet Venus in Leo. So all systems go for you, Leo, for sure. So when Venus changes signs into Virgo in early October, for you, Leo, what that means is you're looking at your values. You're looking at what's important to you. And that's going to be really, really crucial, because it ties into relationships. Because remember what I said before, we're moving into the season of Libra, which is all about relationships. And so for you, Leo, it's definitely about, you know, what is yours? What are the resources that are available to you? And what do you share with others, namely, you know, your partner or your business partners? So that's really what's going to be coming up for you. What is important to you during this season of Libra, and the focus primarily on your relationships. I said that twice because it's the people around you. Virgo, for you, what's happening is, you know, during this season of Libra, love planet Venus will be moving into your sign, where it will be through most of October. So this is great news for you, Virgo. You know, you've really got Venus on your side during this season of Libra, which means relationships go quite well for you, or what you want from relationships, I should say, really. So it's sort of like you gain clarity, even though Mercury will be retrograde, which means not being clear. But for you, Mercury is your ruling planet, Virgo. So when it does turn retrograde, yes, it can be challenging, but it's in a compatible sign, so not as bad. So basically, in other words, during the season of Libra, it's about digging deep and getting to the bottom of something to really help boost your relationships, single, coupled, whatever it might be. So that's what's coming up for you, Virgo. Now, for you, Libra, this is your season. This is you. This is your birthday month, your birthday time. And so this is all about your personal new year. So anytime it's a new year, we set our intentions for what we want the year ahead to be. I know it's very difficult. How can we do that when we don't know what's happening one day to the next? But if you think long-term, Libra, you've already jumped through so many hoops as it is. No challenge is too great that you can't overcome something, really should be your mindset and your motto during this season. As I said, there's going to be some more challenging aspects in Libra season with these outer planets, but it's nothing that you can't handle. You're very tough on the inside, Libra, but do present in a very soft and personable way. Scorpio, for you during this Libra season, it's very much about trusting your instincts. And during this Libra season, your ruling planet, Pluto, will be turning direct. It has been retrograde for the past few months. And so now it's finally able to move forward. So what that tells us is that for you, Scorpio, it's making giant leaps and bounds forward. You might even surprise yourself, which is really saying something. So for you, Scorpio, it's using the energy of Libra to get along with others, but knowing what your strategic plan is at all times, which you do anyway, in the back of your mind. That's going to be really important, particularly when these challenging aspects from the Sun and Venus come up against Pluto, your ruling planet. But again, Scorpio, you're one of the strongest signs of the Zodiac, and it's nothing that you can't handle. Sagittarius for you. So things might be picking up steam for you. During Libra season, that's good for you. It's good to use this energy of Libra to reach out to others, to tap your friends, your network of people, online, offline, social media. This is a time where really you might be feeling a little bit more inspired than what you probably have for quite a few months. So this is a time for you, Sagittarius, to really tap into this energy and really it's a time for manifestation. And if you're single and you're a Sagittarius, this is the time to really think about the partner that you want to bring into your life. You can very strongly manifest at this time. Capricorn for you. So what's happening with you, Capricorn, is that, you really have been tested and challenged over these past couple of years. And so now moving into Libra season, it just seems like a bit of a gnat compared to what you've already been through. But there will be some issues in Libra season. Again, nothing you can't handle. You've handled much bigger things than just Libra season. But, the issues really come for you, Capricorn, from that Mars retrograde. And so there could be some, things coming out of left field that you hadn't anticipated on, or things coming up from the past that you thought were dealt with. And then you have to sort of go back and redo stuff. But, your ruling planet is Saturn. Saturn in a few days is about to turn direct. It has been retrograde, so it makes things a whole lot easier than what has currently been going on for you. Aquarius for you, during Libra season, this is quite good because, Aquarius, you're the humanitarian of the Zodiac. And so, you reach out to people, you help people in a different way to maybe some other signs. And so with Libra season, Libra is also an air sign, the air signs being Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And so this is very compatible energy for you. And so what's going to be really important for you, Aquarius, is communication, being I mean, it is anyway, you're an air sign, but more so during this season, and more so when there's challenges that come up over the next couple of months to deal with rules, regulations, restrictions. The old-fashioned ways might be really sort of bugging you during this season, but it's really, take a step back, know that, your modern ruler, Uranus, is there to support you, give you grounding and stability, and then your co-ruler or your ancient ruler, that's Saturn, is going to be moving forward during this Libra season. So it really does help you sort of set the tone and think about what you want in the long term, and does provide some stability in a very unstable year that we're having. And then finally, Pisces, for you during Libra season, there might be some I'm just trying to think of how to say this, because I know Leanne, being a Pisces, don't want to come across the wrong way here. But so with Libra, with Libra season, very much about for you Pisces is very much about, there's some fate or karma that you're going to be dealing with at this time, and so what's going to be really important is to try not to leap to conclusions, I think, is probably the best way of saying it. And really, Pisces, you're the psychic of the zodiac. So it's like, really don't fully, what am I trying to say? Okay, I've got to say this in a way where back anything up with facts and figures. How about that? So back anything up with facts and figures, and I'm looking at Mercury retrograde, and that's the reason I'm saying it. But, like throughout October, Venus, the planet of love, will be in your love zone. So that's why I was smiling before when you said, oh, you might think about, looking for somebody maybe October, even though there are some challenges, but you know what, there's always something. But with having love planet Venus in your love zone, October might not be such a bad idea, Leanne.
Woohoo! I was thinking it was going to go the other direction. I was like, fatal karma? Oh, no.
But that doesn't mean bad, though.
Anyways.
And that's why I'm sort of trying to choose my words carefully, because anytime I say karma or fate or whatever, that's not bad. It just is.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'll take it. Do you know what? I always walk away with some really good tips and advice from our conversations. And so I will make sure that I sort of dot my I's, cross my T's. Everyone else who's tuning in, leave a comment and share with us, what are you taking away from this conversation with Kelli today as we move into Libra season? I also know I know quite a few Libras in my life. My father's a Libra, and I'm like, he was always so good with people and having conversations, and he always was so good, and he still is, about seeing all sides, and he's been sort of the mediator, probably between my mom and I, more than I'd like to admit. But anyways, I've learned a lot about Libra today, and this energy and this sun sign, and thank you so much for sharing everything that you did. And we thank you everyone for tuning in. It was really fun. I really enjoyed reading all of your comments. And Kelli, you have a lot of fans out there, and it is for a good reason.
Thank you. And it's always such a pleasure to see everybody here, and everyone's so wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you, Leanne.
Yeah, you're welcome. And just really quick, so this is what's exciting. Next week, we're going to be talking about the full moon. So tune in next Thursday.
Already? I'm like, wait, what day? What?
No, this month has gone so quickly. So we're going to be talking Thursday of October next week. And moving into October next month, depending on where you live in the world, we're going to have a blue moon. And so there's just some really exciting things going on. And I'm excited to continue connecting with you, Kelli, and with everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then really quick, for everyone who's tuning in, I just realized, the link, I had it ready to begin with. And
well, actually, the newsletter link is to sign up to free daily, weekly, monthly horoscope delivered to your inbox every day. It's astrology.tv/newsletters. Thank you, Leanne. You got that before I could say it.
Yeah, and I've also linked in the comments to this video, I have linked to a free solar return or free birthday report or forecast. So make sure that's applicable for the Libras, but it's applicable for everyone who's tuning in today. So thank you for sharing your gift, Kelli. And get on Kelli's newsletter. She does live events every Thursday at 2 p.m. in a really private setting, and you might be lucky enough to have her read your chart for you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, everyone, for your very sweet, kind comments. See, sweet and kind. That's very Libra.
There we go.
Bye.
Bye.